once again I can bring on one of our old favourites. It's Uncle Alan Doyle. Come on down, Al.
You right?
Not too bad, yourself.
Yeah, I'll see if I can get on this
You
better.
get on that seat, don't fall off, because last time you fell off, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
It was,
we was going up and I was going down.
I was actually banging the floor in hysterics. I shouldn't have done that really, but it was amusing. But there we go, you're on safely.
Yeah.
And FA Cup day, special day for the club.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I was just speaking to some supporters who said they've supported for 50, 55 years and everything, and they were talking about the Fulhams and the Blackburns and all the games and everything, and I said, I'm coming up to 8 years since I've been here, and we've never got even to the first round.
No, it's been spectacularly poor, hasn't it?
Yeah, especially when obviously one of the things you first find out when you join Kettering is that how many goals they've scored, and nobody scored any. Great quiz question, the most goals, is it Liverpool, is it Man United, is it Arsenal? No, it's Kettering. And it's a fantastic thing to try and keep going. So, it'd be nice, and the thing is, when you look at, you think, well, if we get to the second or third round, or we could qualifying round, we'll be playing a conference team or a national league team.
We are one.
But we are one now, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, it'd be nice, to get out, but there's always, the easy matches are not as easy because it's the FA Cup.
Yeah, we met Aldershot last season, didn't we? We've had, I think it was Solihull Moors a little while later.
Yeah,
so.
They were both the highlights.
Yeah, and
really.
You look at where Aldershot Town are now in the in their league, they're about fourth from bottom, and we weren't totally outplayed that day, but it was a good performance by Aldershot against Kettering. But again, Sutton Coldfield will fancy their chances.
Well, yeah, I mean. Nicky went to watch them in the replay, and he's told me that they were quite decent and everything. So obviously, but I think the thing is when you play a team a couple of leagues behind, you've got to try and impose yourself. I'm not saying we're going to start like we did last week, but it'd be fantastic. Yeah, I can't ever remember anybody doing that, to score 2 in 2 minutes like that to start a game, but. You've got to get at them basically and try and push yourself. So they think it's going to be hard, and we, because really and truthfully, I've watched most of the home games, and without, I know it's ifs and buts and maybes, we could have easily won all 5 or 6 home games. You know what I mean? And be way up the league. I haven't been. I've obviously watched other teams doing reports and I've seen other teams and everything, and they're fitter, they're physically stronger, which we knew they would be. But I think apart from a couple of games, we've coped with the big boys.
The disappointing games, Al, really were the Kidderminster game, being 2 goals ahead and then getting 3-2 ahead and then losing that one.
And Chester was as well.
Chester 1-1 was disappointing, as was the Gateshead match, and Boston really, and we should have done better in that game. Yeah,
definitely.
But that is the league, and we're in the FA Cup. As I say, it's been a disappointing, I think, season so far, but there's been a lot of changes, hasn't there, since last season?
A lot, yeah.
A lot of people don't realise behind the scenes.
Yeah, I mean, we had sort of like a first team of 16 players, of which 12, 13 were the same most weeks and everything, and then we lost practically a whole back 4. Well, we did lose a whole back 4, and Richo's like lost a bit of form, and he's gone on loan, and then with people like Reese and Dan Holman was a quality player.
But they're not getting in their side, are they? They're not getting in Bradford's side or Tamworth's side, or.
Well, they ain't got the right people behind them.
They haven't. Towers are rented, of course, and he's.
Yeah, I think initially that was a big thing, losing him. And I see that both the two of them with Stanley, they're both at Nuneaton now.
Yeah, Stanley left Clitheroe, which was a bit of a strange one, but there we go. Looking at this side today, we've got 7 substitutes. Obviously, we can only use 3. It's good to get Jack Norman in there, who's got potential. Also, we might see Mo Seba. Have you seen much of him at all?
Well, Thomas Bailey told me that he done well for him last year, and I watched him here the other night, And I tell you what he does well. He does the easy thing well. He wins the ball, drops his shoulder, passes, keeps it, goes into the ball. So I think, you know, he could be a useful addition that can plot in, sit in front of the back four, just a sitting role, and without being spectacular, he looks as if he can play a bit. And it was good to see one or two. The thing that I enjoyed most about the other night was Bright, because he you know, he's a bit of a favourite of mine because obviously I've known him for a long time. But it wasn't the way. I mean, he is I forgot how good he is as a wing back, and he was quick, and he was. But what was really good, I know the hell he went through for that 15 months and not playing and everything. And if he'd ever do it again, and he proved the other night, albeit, you know, not a great opposition or anything, but he showed how fit he was, and that was the best thing for me. So I really enjoyed it.
Playing a game on a Tuesday night like that is better than playing training, isn't it?
Yeah, oh yeah, fantastic. Yeah, I mean, and we got a decent draw at Wellingborough. You know, because there's some decent teams in the cup, and if you get to the semi-final, and I mean, we had a great night against Colby in that final. We had a great night in the other final, and you know, I think it gives, if you have got some good youngsters coming through, you can blood them, and obviously at the moment we got a lot of players who think they can get in the first team. So, you know,
part of your role is the technical director, and I know that there's things you can't tell us, obviously, but and I know I keep asking Nicky, are we looking at other players, and are those players look likely to be coming to the club? Have you got anything you can enhance the fans with that in the future?
Yeah, I mean, all the time we you know, we get 3 or 4 a week mentions. People tell me about someone, Nicky tells them, Luke gets told something, or if somebody's available or something like that, and we have put a lot of work into it, and I've been watching 2 or 3 players, and one is, you know, as good as done, so you'll see
Ollie
next
Burgess,
week. Pardon? Yeah, you'll see. I'll get somebody to get in touch with you. You work for the advertising part of this company.
Well,
so I'm sure you'll get told eventually.
Yeah, hopefully, yeah. It would help. But.
Yeah, there is. I mean, but the thing is what it has proved is that if Kings Lynn have proved it with the 2 lads they got up front that I've spoke to with our previous manager over the years, and they're on a lot of money, but they're very good players and they're doing the business. And if you do the business of putting the ball in the net, and then you stop 1 or 2 at the other end, you've got a decent team. And I don't think we've got the money to compete with some of certainly the top third of the teams. And so I'm. It's not exactly looking in a shoestring. It's just that you got to hear things. It's like getting a tip for a horse. You get a tip for a player. You go and see him, and you think, what a load of rubbish. And you have to, when you go to level 4 or level 5. You have to realise what you're watching, even if the player looks really good. Can he do it at the next level, level 3, or can he do it in the thing? And we've seen the difference between, you know, how we knocked the ball about and won the league by 15, 16 points last year, but we haven't been able to do that.
There is a contrast.
There is, and when you're scouting and you're looking, you have to try and, you know, and sometimes you only see this particular lad. I've only seen once. But some good judges have told me he was really good, and he done in the game I saw him. He done what I wanted him to do, but whether he can do the rest, you don't know. You know, you just
got to take that chance, haven't you?
You don't know how players can, you know, get at a certain level, and are they happy? You know, they might have a horrible trip here. They might not be happy at home. They might.
It's surprising though, looking back historically at Kettering forwards that have been great at other clubs, and they come to Kettering and suddenly just freeze. You know, and some real good names like Leroy May or Racky Carter. Or Wilkinson have all been, you know, renowned goal scorers at their previous clubs. Come to Kettering and they just can't reproduce it.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. That's, you know, it was a position I played in, and you know, people, when you scored, they used to say, "Oh, anybody could have scored from there or done that." But you know, you do get the glory when you score the goals and you win the games, and you know, I mean, look at I mean, I think this Dan is a really good player. I think he works very hard. I've known about him for several years because the manager, his previous club, is a big friend of mine, and he probably could be a better finisher. But then, if he was a better finisher, he wouldn't be playing at this level. No. Do you know what I mean? But for guts and for work rate and for touch and everything, he's you know. And I think Hazard, when he makes his mind up, even though he's getting on a bit and everything, he's a very fit person.
He proved last week against Alfreton what he can still do. I mean, he put in a tremendous shift before he came off, and it certainly helped the team.
I just think, you know, when you pick the ball up at full-back or you pick it in midfield, if you've got a William runner all the time and he keeps going, or two of them, you know, you've got, it's a get out a card and you can hit the channels and you can hit, and I just think, I think the one thing that we do lack is talking and leaders and leadership and communication. I think we do lack that.
Do you think we're getting better?
What, communicating or football?
Football overall, because the standard, from when we first were in the first game, okay, we won that 1-2-1, but since then, of course, it went right down a little bit. Do you think they're getting better?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think the manager's sorting things out, and I think it's a good atmosphere now, and you just, you know, if you look at the fixtures, the next 5 or 6, I'm not saying they're easy fixtures, because
no fixtures are easy.
But there's fixtures there that we certainly should be going for 3 points. I think we need a nice away win or something. That'd be handy.
Well, the next game is at Hereford. Of course, last time we went there, we lost 4-1. It was their party in their championship winning season, but they're not doing particularly well, thankfully, at the moment. Of course, that is next Saturday. We'll be covering that game in case you can't get to it. Then it's FA Cup action on the 5th. Hopefully, we'll still be in that. And then, as you say, we've got Spennymoor and Altrincham at home, and then Curzon, Ashton away. All games you would think Kettering stand a chance of getting some points.
Yeah, so I mean, if we can get a bit ahead of the steam like we did in the first 2 minutes and carry that through, and you know, I think we'll be there.